Welcome up, Nick Matt.
Life's purpose. It's probably not thought about as much as it should be. And to be fair, it's a huge, vast, complicated topic that encapsulates a lot of different categories. So it's understandable why most people don't even want to broach the subject. It's much easier to live through life passively, floating on by, taking on whatever life gives you. But is it more enjoyable? Mr. Toastmaster, fellow members, and welcome guests. I'd like to share with you a little bit about my story in life, because it wasn't too long ago that I was purposeless, that I didn't know what to do, where to go, what I even wanted. But one day I was sitting in a chair trying to figure life out, and I had an epiphany. I broke down life into 4 different categories: health, wealth, love, and happiness. Each one can be broken down even further. And for the sake of today's talk, I just wanted to talk about specifically business and how and why I got into it. See, it's funny, I went to school for electrical engineering, but I never got a degree. I do have this ring, however, and it means a little to me, but in engineering they have the tradition for the iron ring. And if you're not familiar with the story, it takes place back in 1900s, back when they were constructing the Quebec Bridge. This bridge spanned across the St. Lawrence River, connecting Winnipeg to Moncton, and before they built the bridge, they needed approval. So they brought the plans to the head of the engineering. And he took a look, reviewed it, and signed his name. And just like that, 85 lives were taken with one signature. The bridge collapsed not once, but twice, taking the lives of 85 people. And the saddest part about that was it could have been avoided if he was a little more diligent, if he worked a little harder. And so out of this tragedy rose this tradition for this ring, a ring designed with the intention to remind engineers as they were signing papers, as their rings were dragging across the pages, of the ethical code they have to keep, of their moral obligation, of the weight of the responsibility on their shoulders because of all the potential lives they could affect. See, I went into business to affect lives. I wanted to bring everybody I came into contact with value. And I still remember the moment that solidified my decision to go down this path. It was when I was running my first painting business. I just finished painting a couple's house. They came up to me after the job with the biggest smiles on their faces and were emphatically thanking me for a job well done. And it was at that moment. I knew that I wanted to make people feel exactly the same way these couples felt. It was at that moment I knew I wanted to go into business. And so this ring is a reminder to me, a reminder that I have to uphold my values, a reminder to me that I help great businesses grow. And the definition of a great business is a business that brings people value by helping them, by solving their problems and giving them solutions. See, I got a lot of respect for businesses because businesses are literally the backbone of our economy. They raise our standard of living, and they give us the opportunity to live the way we're living right now by giving us value, and in doing so, making this world a better place. See, what I do as a marketer, especially with SEO and the ability to manipulate Google, is I can influence a massive amount of people to go see terrible or great businesses. So this ring is a reminder for me to follow industry standard best practices. But more importantly than that, it's what motivates and inspires me. It's what gives me purpose. A purpose to make this world a better place. Purpose to live my life to the fullest. And the purpose to help others. And this all happened with me sitting in the chair thinking a little about life, reflecting on myself. A little bit of self-awareness. And I think if all of us sat down in a chair, reflected, and had a little more self-awareness, we'd realize and come to the same conclusion that we want this world to be a better place as well. And this I know. The progress of the world depends on our progress as individuals right now. And the perfect world? isn't achieved through force or violence, but through spreading good and correct ideas. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.